You can't get away! I'm right behind ya!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at some of the most famous movie scenes that suffered some type of tragedy during production.
It smelled like slow death in there. Malaria. Nightmares.
Parasailing behind the boat, XXX.
I wish I had a video camera!
What you talking about?
This is gonna be one hell of a trip.
In the climactic sequence of this action flick, Xander Cage parasails behind a boat in Prague. Realizing that the string is about to hit a bridge, Cage lets go and ziplines down to the boat, barely missing the bridge himself. It's a fantastic stunt and it looks brilliant on film. Unfortunately, it cost stuntman Harry O'Connor his life. While filming the second take, O'Connor slammed into Palacky Bridge, breaking his neck and tragically passing away. Out of respect for his work, director Rob Cohen dedicated the final product to his memory.
It shows you the lengths to which we'll go to bring this kind of intense experience to the viewer.
The wide shot of Cage disappearing behind the bridge is the real shot of O'Connor, though there's conflicting information on whether it's from the first or second take.
This film is dedicated to his memory. I miss him. He was a friend.
The skeleton pool, Poltergeist.
You son of a bitch, you moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies, didn't you?
Another climactic sequence, another bit of horrifying movie trivia. Diane Freeling slips into her swimming pool and she's met by a number of skeletons that appear out of the water. Well, you can probably see where this is going.
You only moved the headstones! Why?
Yeah, those are real. Makeup artist Craig Reardon reportedly purchased a number of surgical skeletons and made them up to appear more ghoulish. Actress JoBeth Williams had no idea that the skeletons were real, assuming quite understandably that they were props made by the special effects team. And at least one apparent reason for using real human bodies instead of making their own? You probably know the answer to that too. It was cheaper.
Those feelings are bad. They hurt.
Falling into the canal, summertime.
I am now going to take a picture.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
One of David Lean's more grounded films, Summertime tells of a budding relationship in Venice between Secretary Jane Hudson and antiques dealer Renato De Rossi. Katharine Hepburn plays Jane and received her 6th Oscar nomination for the performance.
You know, all my life I've stayed at parties too long because I didn't know when to go. Now with you, I've grown up. I think I do know when to.
She also received a permanent eye infection. In one scene, Jane is filming De Rossi's shop when she ends up in the canal. Despite having doubts about the safety of the water, Hepburn performed the fall herself after much prodding from Lean.
You should have seen me in the Olympics.
Shortly after executing the stunt, she began experiencing pain in her eyes and was diagnosed with pink eye. It was an uncommon form of the ailment and became a chronic issue that stayed with Hepburn. Man overboard, Das Boot. A very popular German war film, Das Boot follows submarine U-96 and its experiences during the Battle of the Atlantic. In one terrifying sequence, U-96 gets caught in a nasty storm and Pilgrim gets swept away by the water. According to movie lore, actor Jan Freder was actually swept off the prop boat. A co-star seeing the accident apparently yelled "Man overboard." Freder was injured in the fall, with some sources claiming that he suffered a concussion and others that he broke ribs. As the movie was filmed chronologically, Pilgrim was reportedly rewritten in order to accommodate Freder, who spent much of his time recovering in bed.
3 Rippenbrüche, eine Platzwunde. Geht ja noch.
Pretty much the whole movie, The Conqueror.
Eternal skies, Yesagai, my father, hear me. Summon the spirits of heaven to my aid. Send me men!
This is one of the most legendary films in movie history for more reasons than one. First, it's terrible and problematic. Second, it was one giant health and safety disaster. Anytime you see them in the desert, they're filming downwind from a nuclear test site. And when production moved back to Hollywood, Howard Hughes had tons of radioactive dirt shipped to the studio in order to keep continuity. About 40% of the crew eventually developed cancer, which many have attributed to the hazardous filming site.
You have suffered much.
But you will spare me further suffering
If it is in my power.
However, these numbers also match the rates found in the general population, and tobacco use was extremely heavy at the time, leading some to question if the nuclear fallout was the true cause. Well, it certainly couldn't have helped. Attacked by real birds, the birds. Alfred Hitchcock had a murky relationship with actors, once even claiming that they should be treated like cattle, and few got it worse than Tippi Hedren. Hitchcock was reportedly obsessed with Hedren and often acted in a problematic manner towards her.
I see. Good luck, Miss Daniels.
Thank you.
This extended to her physical safety, which he threatened during the climactic sequence of The Birds. To film the attack in the attic, Hitchcock had live birds thrown at Hedren. Live birds that were physically attached to her at a point to prevent them from flying away. Eventually, one of the birds scratched Hedren's face, and a doctor ordered that filming be stopped.
Nice, innocent little day.
Oh, yes.
The Horsehead, The Godfather.
My father made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
What was that?
It's one of the most famous scenes in cinema. Jack Waltz wakes up and finds blood in his bed. Peeling away the blankets, he finds more and more blood until finally coming to the source: the decapitated head of his prized horse, courtesy of Vito Corleone. Francis Ford Coppola is known for his extreme style of directing, not to mention his penchant for showing real animal violence on screen.
They are $600,000 on 4 hooks. I'll bet Russian Tsars never paid that kind of dough for a single horse.
Turns out this was a real horse head, which was acquired from a company that manufactured dog food. The studio asked Coppola to use a prop head. However, he didn't like the way it looked, so he acquired a real one. They put it in the bed, added a little prop blood, and made movie history.
It's a true story.
The long takes, The Shining.
Yeah, this whole place is such an enormous maze. I feel like I'll have to leave a trail of breadcrumbs every time I come in.
This classic film contains a number of complicated long shots, like the one where Wendy backs up the stairs and when she and Jack walk through the hotel with Stuart Ullman. The former scene is particularly infamous, with the Guinness Book of World Records claiming it was shot 127 times. According to Lee Unkrich, who wrote a massive book on The Shining, this is not true. However, the dolly shot of Wendy and Jack walking through the hotel apparently took 66 takes to complete, the most in the film per Unkrich.
My God, this place is fantastic, isn't it, hon?
Sure is.
Regardless, Kubrick's methodical style slowly eroded at Shelley Duvall, who reportedly started losing her hair from the constant stress. She later told Roger Ebert that making the movie was almost unbearable.
If it hadn't been for that, volley of ideas and sometimes butting of heads together, it wouldn't have come out as good as it did.
Willard's Breakdown, Apocalypse Now.
Coppola dragged the performance out of you in Apocalypse Now, or at least urged it out of you as Captain Willard, that a lot of people who observed it, this is what I've read, found almost frightening.
We return to Francis Ford Coppola for Apocalypse Now, which might as well describe the making of the film. Its production is as famous and notorious as the movie itself, and that includes the near-death and mental health struggles of star Martin Sheen.
Every time I think I'm gonna wake up back in the jungle.
By the late 1970s, Sheen was dealing with alcohol use disorder and was in poor health, even suffering a heart attack on the set of the film, despite being just 36. The scene depicting Willard's breakdown was real, with Sheen claiming that he was wrestling with some demons.
He said he couldn't do it, and they had a nurse standing by, and I said, please, I must do this for myself.
Coppola tried stopping him, but he was adamant that they continue filming. So Coppola kept the cameras rolling, capturing an actor at a difficult point in his life.
And today I don't recognize that man as a pretty sad guy. Pretty sad man.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The Murder Flashback, The Crow.
The devil stood and felt how awful goodness is.
One of the most notorious movie accidents occurred on March 31st, 1993. Brandon Lee was filming the scene where Eric is shot and thrown from his apartment window. Unfortunately, this moment, and the entire film for that matter, have forever been tarnished by Lee's tragic death.
I love you.
Say that again.
I love you.
The scene required him to be shot at with blank rounds, but thanks to some grossly negligent actions by the production, Lee was accidentally killed when the firing of said blank propelled a lodged dummy bullet out of the barrel. The remaining scenes were reworked to accommodate Lee's death, and his face was notably superimposed onto the body of a stunt double.
Buildings burn, people die, but real love is forever.
Can you think of any more scenes with disturbing backstories? Let us know in the comments below.
This actually smells like real blood.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.